Hi, this is Beatrice Hasell-McCosh. I'm in my studio and it's 19th of May at about 6:30 at night. First I went to Leeds and I did an English and Classics degree, and then I was at the Princess Drawing School in Shoreditch, which is now the Royal Drawing School. I think the fact that I did an English and Classics degree means that I really like to research around what I'm making. Lots of my paintings have kind of meanings and layers within layers, and the different flowers will mean things, and I really like titles as well. So whenever I read something good or something amusing or political, feminist, I usually try to bring that into the work as well. I was brought up in the Lake District in Cumbria, and with a very artistic family, and particularly parents who were interested in painting and collected art. And so I had a lot of experience of the art world when I was young, going to museums and going to art shows and things. I guess also where I was brought up has hugely influenced what my work is now. In lockdown, I spent 6 months basically drawing from the same places in the garden at home, and all of those drawings now are used, still some are used to make the larger works back in my studio in London. At the moment, probably my biggest influences are tapestries, historic wallpaper, huge scale, so anything painted on a massive scale, light installations like James Turrell, Georgia O'Keeffe, also friends doing cool things, Kat Retko, Tiger Helm, and people like Michael Armitage, who just knows how to use colour so well. Right now I am focusing on a lot of very large-scale pieces, which I've been working on for the last 2 years, which are all going into my next solo show in July, which is curated by Jen Ellis and Apsara Studio. That's going to be in London. So everything energy-wise and mind-wise is kind of focused on these works. There's not loads of them. I work quite slowly. There's about 15 pieces in the show. I think the biggest challenge of being an artist is holding your nerve, knowing that when you get going it's really difficult financially, and you have to do all of this other stuff to keep the dream alive, and at the same time build a community and build your network of the art world. But my biggest advice would be to other people would be hold your nerve. Like, it will, if you want it to work, if you work really hard and you're super dedicated, it will work out in the end, and your work will be good enough because you have the passion for it. It's so easy to think about the advice you might give to your younger self. I suppose I would say maybe don't go to university. Like, doing English and Classics was kind of a diversion, but actually I do think that's informed a lot of what I do now, so maybe that wasn't the wrong move. But at the time when I first moved to London, I thought that I had really missed out by not going to art school properly. I just did a year at Leith in Edinburgh, and then I did a year at the Princess Drawing School. But actually everything that you do and every move that you make ends up being the right move because you've thought about it loads, or you didn't think about it loads, and so you just get to where you are because of each of these different steps that you've done. And also, I'm just not very good at giving advice, so probably wouldn't give any advice to my younger self. I haven't really tried any other mediums or techniques. I did a bit of printing at art school, and I really liked it, but the process was long, and I think for me it's the kind of tactile, like, immediacy of painting which I really love. So at the moment I really feel very comfortable and safe in painting, and the way that I'm working just feels so intuitive and very fresh, I guess. But I think that's probably when you need to change materials and change techniques, because actually that develops your practice. So maybe sculpture would be cool to try. I think I'd quite like to, play around with clay or something. I find podcasts a bit distracting, so I listen to a lot of music while I paint. Anything from John Baptiste to Welsh male voice choirs to a lot of classical stuff at the moment. I find that quite calming. This wasn't a reaction to my work, but it's a story I've heard and I really liked it. Was at someone's show, there was a guy standing in front of a painting for a long time, for the whole private view basically, and the gallery owner eventually goes up to him to start talking and said, "Oh, do you like the painting?" And the person standing in front of it said, "Yeah, I really like it. I can't afford it, but I just want to be near it and absorb it for as long as possible." For the works I'm doing at the moment, I hope that it becomes this world that envelops someone, and the curation for the show is going to be such that each piece is going to be standing alone in this very large space. So it'll be like they're almost portals to this other dimension. They're very they're almost overpainted. There's a lot going on, and I really would like for someone to stand in front of the work and keep seeing and see again and find more in the work the more they look. Thanks so much for coming to visit my studio. Please come to the show. It's on at St Cyprian's Church near Baker Street in London between the 3rd and 20th of July.